Hi folks, welcome to your latest mwis planning outlook in association with Ellis Brigham. Now we have a lot of rainfall to come across northwest England, Wales and southwest Scotland over the next couple of days. Some flooding is looking very likely, some severe conditions coming in on a strong southwesterly flow. Those winds, gale or severe gale force on the mountains, particularly England and Wales, through Wednesday. All looks very unsettled still through into the weekend. Next week though is looking like a return of something wintry. Now, a long conveyor belt of moisture is running in towards us on a southwesterly flow through the middle of this week. A slow-moving front then will be draped in, and that's affecting the Lake District primarily on Wednesday, southwest Scotland at times as well, as this front just ripples north and south. Also a lot of rain to come across Ireland. That front will sink further southwards and pivot a little bit to affect Wales into Thursday. A very windy day then, a marked increase of wind speed with height, gales or severe gales across the mountain tops in England and Wales. Windy across the Highlands, the strongest of the gales across the far northwest, but something a little bit more moderate across more central parts of the Highlands. An occluded front toward the northwest producing showery rain toward the western side of the Highlands, drier towards the eastern Highlands, but some rain from early in the day could be hanging around. And bear in mind it'll be very wet underfoot for a good part of western Scotland, having had a lot of rain through Tuesday and Tuesday night. Temperatures are relatively mild, but it's all rather academic given the wind and the rain that will be in the forecast. Let's run the sequence then as we go through Wednesday hour by hour. The rain coming into southwest Scotland and the lakes. Drizzly conditions for West Wales. Something steadier and heavier occasionally running into the northwestern corner of Snowdonia as well, which is likely to be fairly wet for a good part of the day. The heavier rain though turning up for Wales as we more go into Thursday. We now go onwards in 3-hour steps, accumulating the rainfall. Continuing heavy falls and into the lakes and the western side of the Pennines overnight. Rain getting further into Wales as we head onwards to dawn on Thursday. Then it's Wales's turn really for a very wet day on Thursday. Still rain to come for the Lake District, maybe easing a little bit as the front just comes a bit further southwards, but expect some further sustained falls of rain here. Scotland comparatively drier, a few pulses of showery rain around. May just try and come back into the south of Scotland late in the day. Uncertainty as we head for Friday. It may be that various pulses of rain head northwards, but the front itself will try and eventually push further to the east. Now this is total accumulation of rainfall through until Friday. This is off one particular forecast model, but they're all telling a very similar story, it must be said. And the idea of a widespread fall of 75 to 100 mil over the hills and mountains of Wales and northwest England, the Lake District particularly in the firing line for 150 mil. The bullseye on this picks out 180 plus across the Lakeland Fells, and a few spot totals could easily be more than that in this sort of situation. It's a classic weather situation, it must be said, where this powerful southwesterly just runs into the hills. The rainfall is enhanced by the hills being in the way, and some very high totals do develop. A considerable threat then for flooding of the streams and river systems in this part of the world. It's a situation we've seen in some recent years, and this is just another of those events. Let's carry on with the story, and this is Friday. Now, some uncertainty how quickly this frontal system will eventually clear eastwards. Some various pulses of rain running northwards through the daytime and some more showers to come from the west. A less windy looking day on balance, things easing back as we go through Friday. Temperatures as well just drifting downwards a touch as well. Detail becomes tricky through the weekend. Basically the idea of a rather showery southwesterly, showers most frequent in western regions, a few patches of rain passing eastwards as well. Again, not especially windy, but some blustery conditions around at times. Temperatures are cooler compared to the middle of the week, but some brighter spells should be in the forecast, and the rain not as sustained or as heavy. Sunday, though, could be a different question because we have another area of low pressure spinning its way through. Now, a lot of uncertainty with this one. It's likely to advance north and eastwards with time. The risk of some further heavy rain for some then, and winds may well reach gale force. Whether this chart looks like this is open to question, so expect wind and rain to be in the forecast for some, potentially northern Scotland, escaping for at least part of the day. Now, things are then cooler as we head through this weekend. As we go into Saturday, the freezing level coming down to around 1400 metres, so just grazing freezing point on, say, Ben Nevis summit through Saturday. Similar, I suspect, through Sunday, although it may be that things lower a touch more to around 1200 metres or so. So something wintry, with sleet and snow on the higher Munros where these areas of precipitation do develop. Now that freezing level will lower further as we go into the first week of November as the wind flow turns around towards the northwest and eventually towards the north, and we see those temperatures come down day on day. For Monday, still around 1200 metres or perhaps above. As we go onwards into Tuesday and Wednesday, though, dropping down to 800 or 900 metres in the north of Scotland, and then heading for Wednesday daytime, that could be below 800 metres, if not nearer 600 or 700 metres in northern Scotland. A direct northerly flow then is expected as we head towards the middle of the week. Some showers being draped down across areas exposed to that northerly wind. So northern parts of the Highlands, some places around the Irish Sea coast as well, and coming down the eastern side of England. So some snow and some hail in those likely to fall to fairly low elevations. You wouldn't be surprised to see some snow falling even below 300 or 400 metres for a time in some places, lying over the higher hills and mountains. Anything lying lower down likely to be temporary, but a covering of snow to be expected on areas exposed most to that northerly wind through the middle of the week. Uncertainty as we go later in the week. I think it stays on the cool side, that there may be another weather system comes around from the northwest, but that is not set in stone at this stage. So something wintry on the horizon, but a lot of rainfall concerns in the shorter term. Stay up to date with your local forecasts on our website. That is your planning outlook in association with Ellis Brigham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.